Hi, everybody. I'm Carolyn with Swan City Yarns. I'm laughing because I was busy reading comments and then it was time to go live and I forgot to put up the one screen. So I think you all saw me before you were supposed to with my RBF. I was busy reading comments, which I do anyway, but I was thinking I really need to watch them because Bo has indicated that I apparently miss a lot of comments. And I don't know, does it not show them to me in my screen accurately? Like I'll see comments and then it'll have a little blue box that comes up and it says new comments and it points down. And but that doesn't always happen. And I assume I read all the comments, but I guess obviously I'm not reading all the comments. And then I saw Sherry from Naughty Yarns at Scenic Stitches this past weekend, and she indicated she's been watching my podcast. She said, and I got the sense that she thinks I spend too much time saying hi to everybody. So yeah, anyway, but I just so y'all know, if you're on here and commenting, I have seen your name and I'm glad that you're here. Hey, Michelle, I'm going to call you out because I don't always get to see you on Fridays. Is that a walkabout sweater? Yes. Well, technically it's the walk along. You remember the walkabout, walk here and there, walk to the refrigerator. We can't remember the name. The walk along sweater by Ankstrick. Yes. So this was my first one. Actually, it has pickled peppers up here, and then the body is in Journey's End. It was the first one I made, and so it was big on me even back then. And now I'm not even going to stand up. Well, I can, I guess, but I've got it tucked in, but it's so in the back. If I untuck this, like it literally hangs down almost like a dress or a tunic. So this was the first one I made. The second one I made a size smaller, but I absolutely love it. Like it's got such great design detail. Your increases are they're raglan increases, but you get this line of stitches going down on either side and front and back, and it just looks great. Plus you got the extra color coming in here. So yeah. In fact, if you've never made one of these, this would be great for our upcoming summer top make along. So, because it's such a great pattern. It's by Ankstrick, and she writes great patterns anyway. So, yeah, I saw y'all talking about the weather. Sounds like some of y'all have some envious weather. We are definitely warming up here in Florida. So, which is why I went for this. It's made in what is now Silky Sock, which is my go-to for all of my warm weather knits, really. I mean, I have a few that I've done like just holding fluffy lace, but if it's like a fingering weight yarn, this is kind of the one I go to because the silk in it just adds a nice drape. It's cool, it's light, it's great for Florida. So anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that y'all are here. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to Charlotte that I met at Scenic Stitches. And Charlotte doesn't comment, but according to her, she watches every Friday. She said, it's the highlight of my day. She's so sweet. And anyway, so she came to Scenic Stitches. It was lovely to meet her. And I said, well, you must not comment because I had not, met her on the live before. So, and that's fine. Y'all don't ever have to comment. I appreciate when you do. I love to hear y'all say hi to each other or see y'all here, see y'all say hi to each other, talk about the weather. It's good stuff. So anyway, yeah. So let's talk about Scenic Stitches. We had a great time in Chattanooga. First time we had ever been there. I did do a quick video on Sunday morning, which I put the link in the newsletter. Or if you don't get that, then you can go to the live tab here on the YouTube channel, and it's under the live videos. It should be the last one. And I just highlighted a few booths and showed kind of the overall layout. It was a big space for sure. I'm told that there were more vendors this year than last because this was the second year. And yeah, we had a great time. Got to see, it's funny how you run into a lot of the same people show after show. So we got to see Athena from A Lemon Made. Lindsay and Jordan from Fiber Seed. We've been seeing them a lot at different shows, and you just start building relationships and you get a lot of good advice and things like that. Laura from Created for You by Laura and her husband Kevin, we see them in a lot of shows. So just a great group of people. So yeah, good stuff. I did buy some things. So I'll show y'all really quick what I bought. First of all, and I showed this in the video. I didn't show what I bought because I hadn't bought it yet at the time. But Allison from the Soapy U she apparently has more soaps at some shows than others. She didn't have any ready this time, but she makes bags, or she has bags with these cool designs on them. Actually, some of her bags have these wild and crazy sheep embroidered on them. Like I love them so much, wild, colorful. And I asked her, I said, do you have any t-shirts with those designs on? And she said, no, because they're so stitch heavy, it would literally, the first time that you wash your t-shirt, it would just like draw in because she can't have enough, there's not enough stabilizer in the world to make it look good on the fabric of a t-shirt. But she had these canvas bags. I think the next time I see her, I'm going to have to get a canvas bag. She is also online. She said you can buy her stuff. It's called the Soapy U, EWE. But anyway, yeah, she had a couple of these jackets and t-shirts with a couple variations of sheep. I liked this one, and so I got this one, which is kind of funny that I got a long sleeved one, but it's so soft, y'all. It is so soft. I probably would have been better off getting a t-shirt. I'd get more use of it here in Florida, but I couldn't resist. I cannot tell you how soft this is. I put it on last night after I got out of the shower. Didn't have anything on under it because I would have been too hot. And even Morgan was like, why are you wearing that? I said, because I like it. And if I have to, I will turn the air down. I did not have to turn the air down, but it's just so scrumptious. So anyway, I'll keep that and pull it out as soon as we get to cooler weather anywhere we go. Who knows? Maybe I can take it to Alabama next weekend. So Linda says, I have one of her bags with that design. That's awesome. Yeah, she has good stuff. Y'all should check her out. And then I also we've been talking about Brick House, the needle, Brick House Fiber Arts, and they make needles. So it's a women-owned company. They make these themselves. Like they do the machining themselves. I didn't realize that. So, and they make them here in the US. And so what they have at this point is fixed circulars, DPNs, and straight needles. I think they have some other odds and ends, but there are currently no sets and no interchangeables. I asked them about those, and they said that they're toying with the idea of doing some build your own sets that you can buy, because everybody kind of has their favorites that they like. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And interchangeables are down the road. So I think they're working towards that. So I love them because one of the things I liked was that they had samples on their little table, and you could knit, you could knit. I'm trying to think, did I see crochet hooks? I don't think I did. I'm not saying they don't have them. I just didn't see them. I was looking for size 1 circulars, 9-inch circulars. And I told Linda Frank, because she and I were talking about it, I saw was it Saturday morning? Yeah, Saturday morning before the festival opened, I saw they only had a few of these. And I know Linda's a sock knitter too. And so I was like, I don't have Linda's phone number. I need to get her a message that as soon as she comes in, she better go to that booth because they don't have a ton of this particular one. And I kind of wished that I had bought a size 3 as well. So when I'm doing DK socks, so I'll go online and see what they have. But anyway, so that I got the size 1 9-inch circular for my socks. And then I also got the size 1 DPNs, which I haven't opened up the package yet, but they are square. So I'm really excited about trying these out. Very cool. I like it. So yeah, all good stuff. I'll let you know. I know some of y'all already use them. I'll let you know what I think of them when I start using them, which I will do promptly. So that was that. I got that. And then Oh, I also went by Catherine. She's another lady I run into a lot. She's from the Nashville, Tennessee area. Catherine, her company is called Knitting Notions. Her website is knittingnotions.com. And Thanksgiving, not this past Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before, I did a video interviewing her because we were in Nashville. And one of the things that she sells is these. They're shawl pins, but can also be used as hair pins. And that's what I use mine for, our hair stick. And I have one and I love it. I use it. And so I told Morgan about it, and her hair is getting longer again. And so she said that she would, I said, I'll get you one next time I go, which I forgot to show her. She doesn't even know I have it. But how pretty is that wood? It says Purple Heart is the wood name. So anyway, I don't know. I might have to compare this to mine that I currently have, and if I like it better, get rid of the other one. But I liked the other one too. I want to say it was Osage or something like that, but it was beautiful. Diane, I haven't tried that brand, but I love square needles. Yeah, the square needles that I've tried, the Knit Pro cubics, I really like. I just don't have them in a wide range of sizes, but I do like them. So Alabama next week. Yes, we will be at Southern Twist Yarns in Fairhope, Alabama next Saturday for a trunk show. So I'm excited about that. Okay, and then the other thing, the last thing I bought. So this wasn't at the festival. We had a little bit of time to burn Friday morning before we had to set up. And so one of the things Bo and I like to do is we'll check out coffee shops, obviously grocery stores. You all know about that. And then we also will check out like antique malls. They're just so fun to walk around. We found one called Dirty Jane's Antique Mall. I don't know why it was called that. It was a very nice, a pretty upscale antique mall. All the booths were very nice. We have one here in Lakeland that it's an antique mall. It's what you expect. It's old stuff. But I don't know, the atmosphere in Dirty Jane's was just really nice, and I really enjoyed it. They had some beautiful, and one of the booths had books. Actually, I think a couple of booths, but I only went into one. And I actually went looking for fantasy books because there's some that Connor wants that are difficult to find online because I'm not sure if they're out of print or what. But anyway, it's if you care, it's Gotrek and Felix. They're in the Warhammer meta universe. I don't know. Anyway, they were books that we read when they were younger, and apparently they have these omnibuses or collections. And if you get those, there are extra stories in them, but they're hard to find. And so I have it on my list anytime we go to a used bookstore, which is another thing we look for, to look and see if I can find one that maybe somebody has and doesn't have it priced sky high like the others. But I didn't find those, but I did find this book for Connor called The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. And apparently it's considered a sci-fi classic. It's won multiple awards. I got caught up in reading it, and I've actually already finished it. But I'm showing it to y'all because it's a really good book. I didn't understand the sci-fi stuff. It was written in 1974. He was a Vietnam vet, and so he's writing about a futuristic war. So I didn't understand any of the physics stuff, like, not time travel, but, like jumping through space. And I don't even understand it. I was talking to Connor about it. I think he'll understand it just fine because he was talking to me about the different ways that you can go through space. And I'm like, okay, yes, it was this way. That's the method that he chose in this book. But it's so interesting anytime you read a book that was written in the past about the future, and his future in here started in like the 1990s. Obviously, we're now past that. And so some of the things that he predicted or the words he chose, it's funny because that's not at all what we call those words. So I won't say anything else about that, but it's a good book. I recommend it, honestly. All right. And then we also went to a bookstore. We were all over the place. We did go to a bookstore called The Book and Cover, I think it was called. and they had this beautiful Pride and Prejudice book. And I realized Morgan and I just recently watched both the Colin Firth version, my favorite, just because of the time they include more stuff, and then the Keira Knightley as right after it we watched it. So, and as Morgan said, every time we watch it, I have to go back and read the book afterwards. And I realized I don't think Morgan has her own copy of Pride and Prejudice. So I texted her, asked her, and she said, no, I don't. So I bought her this one because it's so pretty. So that I bought for her. And then I also bought this one, which is called Ladies in Waiting, Jane Austen's Unsung Characters. It's a collection of short stories about the other characters, you know, the ones that weren't the heroine of the story. And apparently Morgan says they're good. She likes short stories, she said, because if they're not really good, then it's okay. She can be fine with what is. Leave it as is because it was a short story. She said it better than I'm saying it. But anyway, I was like, that's a good perspective. I like short stories myself. I haven't read this one, but she says it's good so far. Some of them take place right after like the original story was written. And then some of them, when I was flipping through, I noticed they take place like in modern time. So it's a different take on some of them. So anyway, so yeah, these are for Morgan. This will be for Connor, but Morgan wants to read it first. So I told her she can pass it on to him when she's done. So anyway, yeah, that was it. That was all my purchases. And it was good to be back Monday and Tuesday. I took a little bit of time off to rest and recover and get back in the swing of things. And yeah, so now back to it. Back into that studio. All right. I have a peek for you at the monthly mini color club. This was last month's. We're almost ready to ship out this month's, but this is last month's. I wanted to make sure everybody had theirs first. And so the stitch marker is a groundhog. There he is, a little pink groundhog. And since Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, I named it 6 More Weeks of Winter. And then here it is. There she is. So that was the mini that went out. And yeah, so that's that. All right, moving on. February Fiber Challenge. I know it's a little bit late, but since I didn't do a live last weekend, I didn't get to announce the winner. The winner of these lovely beauties. So you get a skein of fluffy lace and a skein of trusty sock, both in the colorway Pretty in Pink. So I waited until this morning to pick the winner. And by the way, if you sent me a blanket, I'm going to show the most recent blankets that have been sent to me. If you sent me a blanket, I included those as a separate entry, just so you know. And the winner is dun 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 Billy. Billy, I'm not going to pronounce your last name because I don't know how, and I'll slaughter it. But it's Billy. She made some adorable, little dolls for her local domestic abuse shelter, which I just think is so cool. But anyway, so she is the winner of that. I mean, she probably did more than that. That was the post that won. All right, blankets that have been sent to me. Stephanie sent me this adorable cutie. And Kathy Clower sent me these two. Kathy worked in labor and delivery for years. So, and that's where these are going, the local hospital, their labor and delivery department. And Linda Frank, who also worked in labor and delivery for years, sent me these cuties. Look at these, pink and blue. Oh my goodness. How sweet. Love it. And so Linda brought me those in Chattanooga, and that was Linda Frank. Linda Kalerick brought me this one. Look at that fun color going on in there. I love it. So that's awesome. All right. So thank you, everybody, and everybody who participated in general. I know some people do donation knitting and crocheting and things like that, projects, and don't post. And that's okay. So I think that's awesome. Thank you all for doing that. Yes, congrats, Billy. I will get that shipped out to you pronto. And then, all right, what else do we have? Oh, we have, okay, so the March fiber challenge is socks. In last week's newsletter, I put a discount code. I have 3 sock patterns, which I should have brought. I'll bring them next time. Fleece Your Feet is the most recent one. It's probably the one I'm most proud of just because I feel like I don't know, it was something, it was a goal that I had, and I accomplished it and was able to make it work. And it was something neat that I hadn't seen before. And so that one is probably my pride and joy. But Fleece Your Feet, there's the South Beach Shorty. I think I've talked about that one. And then there's also the Rocket socks, which when you look at the picture of Rocket socks, it looks like there's no toe. They were made to be like spa socks that you can wear with flip-flops, but there is a toe written into the pattern if you want a toe, just so you know. Anyway, it's a discount code for 50% off all month long. If you are interested in knitting any of those. Obviously, you don't have to. I just did it for fun, since we're knitting socks for this month's fiber challenge. Yeah, congrats, Philly. I'm glad to see you on here. Karen, the shorties are great. Everyone, I think autocorrect got that. Karen, I think it slaughtered your message, but are you talking about the brick house? Yes, I can't wait to use them, honestly. So, or do you mean the sock pad? I'm not sure, Karen. Everyone could knock them out. Okay, so you must mean the South Beach shorties. Yeah, those are super fast. In fact, I may make a pair of those. I'm trying to remember if I've made a pair for Bo. It seems to me that I have, but he and I both like our socks to be a little bit longer as a general rule. But I do like my South Beach shorties, and if you like a true shorty sock, they're good for that. So, all right. So, yes, the shorties, good deal. Okay. Between autocorrect and the way that I interpret things, we're all in trouble. Let me just tell you. Okay. Swan projects. I have got some beauties to show y'all. Let's see if they come up in the right order. I didn't even double check them. I just loaded them up and we'll see how they got distributed. So here we go. All right. Oh, this one. Yes. Oh, y'all. So this is Erica Weniger. She's been on here and commented before on a Friday podcast. So not that that matters, but Erica, just to give you some context. So Erica and Cherie came out not last weekend. Was it 2 weekends ago? Yes. To the Common Thread. I was doing a trunk show and teaching a sock blank dye experience, which is why I'm wearing that lovely apron there. And Erica brought this project. She called it her highlighter scarf. She made this pattern up all on her own. I've told you all about this because I had shown a whip of this at one point. So back at Distaff Day in January in Orlando, Erica was there and she got to looking at my neon minis and didn't quite have enough to make, something out of them. So she ended up grabbing 3 skeins of fluffy lace. And the fluffy lace is used on both ends and then that middle yellow, that bright neon yellow. Everything else is minis. And I don't know if you can tell that fringe that's on the ends of that scarf. She calls it her highlighter scarf, by the way, even though she made this herself, that she designed this pattern. And that fringe, by the way, is done in fluffy lace and it looks beautiful. I've seen it in person. She said, we'll see how it wears over time, but I have to tell you for now, it looks amazing. So if you're wondering if you can do fringe in fluffy lace, you certainly can. You can at least make it. We'll see, like I said, how it wears over time. But Erica's an engineer, and so her brain works in ways that mine can't even comprehend, I think. So, and just to give you another idea, that's not it. Let me see okay, here it is. So maybe I should have checked the order. So this is also Erica. This is the Lumos tee, and she made it using sprinkles and stargazer. Now, what's interesting about this pattern is actually a fingering weight pattern, but she wanted a DK version. So I believe she was holding the yarn double. And she basically said that she just did it visually. Like she started making the increases. And then when she thought she realized it was big enough, then she quit. And that's how she did the pattern. So there again, I guess that's that engineer brain, because I would be like, what? I don't even know what to do with this. And I know there's ways to do the math if you're shifting from, if the pattern calls for one weight of yarn and you use another, there is a way to do the math, but I just haven't gotten there yet. So, and I don't even think Erica was doing that. She was just doing it completely visually. So, which is amazing. All right. Socks. Speaking of socks, Anne has finished her Santa's Acid Trip sock. She used everything. Santa's Acid Trip is the main color, highlighter, and Screamin' and Teal the Cows Come Home. And they look fantastic. I love it so much. That's a very popular colorway. I probably need to add some more of that. Oh, okay. Sarah, I don't know if y'all remember a couple weeks ago, I showed my weekend hat that I knit with velveteen on fluffy sock and stargazer on fluffy lace. Well, Sarah saw that combination and decided to make a Stockholm slipover out of it, and it is looking mighty fine. So nicely done, Sarah. All right, let's see what's up next, shall we? Okay, y'all, look at this. This is Heather. She came to Scenic Stitches and she had bought Under the Mistletoe and Spindle Prick Red, and she paired them together and crocheted this beautiful cardigan. And for some reason, I've gotten to where realize I got to make notes on my pictures when I take them. I did not take a picture. I mean, I did not make a note on this picture to know what pattern she used, but I think I remember her saying that she modified a bit to make it longer. So I apologize that I don't have the name for that, but it looks so good. It was one of those, I was just staring at it and having her turn around because I needed to see it because it just looks so good. It's perfect. All right. Okay. So Kathy, for March, our fiber challenge, she's knitting on a pair of scrappy socks. You know, I love a scrappy sock. And she's using some vintage Carolyn colorways. I think she said she didn't know what they were, and that's okay. They are gorgeous. I love them. Some muted colors going on in there. Cindy is up to her usual badassery self. She is working on the Little Fern, which is a baby sweater. She says it knit sideways. And at first I thought it was brioche. I don't think that it is now, but it looks like brioche, doesn't it? Looks awesome. So, yeah. All right. And then Linda Kalarick is working on another set of Fleece Your Feet socks. She's using After Midnight on Trusty Sock and Swan White on Fluffy Sock. Looking good, looking good. And there's Linda again. Speaking of Linda, this is Linda Kalarick, y'all. If you've never met her, now you've got a face to go with the name. So Linda, this is her Sean sweater that she knit using, let's see if I remember, it was After Midnight on Trusty Sock, I believe. And then, no, that's not right. What was that? That would have been on worsted, right? And then I think slate on fluffy lace. I might be butchering that. I know it was one of the kits that was offered, and it looks good. All right, Jill, I showed this last week, a different picture, but I love it when I get pictures of human bodies wearing your knits. So Jill brought her, it's the Candy Shop shawl, and she used cookie crumbs and purple leaf plum. Jill and her buddies go to so many fiber festivals, and I run into them. In fact, we were standing in the booth, and a woman comes walking by. She's wearing a shirt that Jill gave me one of, not the shirt that Jill gave me, but like it, that says, what does it say? Can't knitting, something like that. And it's a fun knitting shirt, but it stands out because it's a dark navy, which I look good in. So I wear mine all the time, and it's got gold lettering, and navy is my color. So anyway, I just look up and I see this shirt and I was like, I have that shirt. I look over, oh, it's Jill. So I should have known that Jill was there when I saw that shirt. But anyway, so it's always fun to run into Jill and her buddies. All right. So there she is. Okay. And then here we go. This is Donna. Donna, well, this isn't from that. Donna came by the Common Thread 2 weeks ago as well. But she has now finished her Okay, let me think what this is. This is, if you are in the Summer Lee Cuff Club Volume 2, that's the current year Cuff Club, where you get a new pattern every single month for your cuff. And this was December's pattern. So, and I'm trying to remember, I don't think she names every single month. I think she just names them by the month, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a great deal, by the way. If you're a sock knitter, you don't even pay that. I forget how much it was. And yeah, every month at the beginning of the month, she sends you a new pattern for the cuff. And then there's an overall sock pattern that you follow each month. Anyway, that one is one that I definitely want to knit. It's in my list of socks that I want to knit. So speaking of, maybe I'll do those next, because I have finished my Fleece Your Feet socks, y'all. I finished them. And so here's the thing I have to tell y'all. There are so many times that, like, at the beginning of the week, I kind of think ahead and, okay, what am I showing on Friday? My knits. Is there a certain place that I want to be in each of my projects, or do I not care for that week? Does it not matter? I can just knit on whatever I like. Well, and if I'm getting close to the finish, I, try to figure out, okay, do I need to focus on this pattern this week and get it knit up to have it done to talk about on the live and show, stuff like that. And so I can't tell you how many times I finish a project on Thursday night and then I'm out there blocking it. Well, this week I was done way ahead of time. I was like, on Wednesday night, I can't believe it. I'm going to be done. I'm finishing these up. I literally, this last sock, I did the toe decreases, Kitchenered it closed, put it on my foot, and I was like, something is very wrong. I had totally left off one set of rows, 12 rows. I had to cut it back, and I ended up finishing it up on Thursday night. It's like, that's just how it's meant to be, I guess. So anyway, this is my most current finish, Fleece Your Feet socks. And this is done in the Sand Cherry colorway on Fluffy Sock. And I chose Sand Cherry on Fluffy Sock because Fluffy Sock, if y'all are familiar with it, it doesn't have the halo that Fluffy Lace or Fluffy DK have, but there is a tiny bit of halo there. And I found that whatever color that I do on Fluffy Sock is the color that's going to be most pronounced. So that was Sand Cherry. And I paired it with, in fact, do I have my leftovers? Did I not bring them in? I may have left them out there. I'll grab them real quick. So I did Sand Cherry on Fluffy Sock. No, I'm grabbing the wrong stuff, y'all. And then where's my plum latte? Do I even have it? Yes, I do. So here we go. This is what I did. So you see Sand Cherry on Fluffy Sock and plum latte on Trusty Sock. So, and I did that because I wanted the Sand Cherry to really show up. And so, and it really does, like that cherry color running through there. It shows up really well. So it's perfect. I'm not going to go into all the details of the Fleece Your Feet. I've talked about it a lot, about why I pair those two yarns together. If you're interested, you can go read it on the pattern page. There will be a link in the show notes. So anyway, yeah. And I made them pretty long. For me, I did the size medium, used a size 3 needle. I did a shadow wrap heel, which I really like on a DK. It goes so fast at a DK gauge. So, and as you can see, I've already got my tag on there because it's being used. It's going to be used as a sample, at least for a little while, which is fine because it's not going to get cold here in Florida again for a while. And these are great cold weather socks. So yeah, so I finished that. And then I don't remember what I showed y'all last, where I was on my Frost Lines cardigan, but I have to tell you, this project, I just laid it out on the table at Scenic Stitches. And sorry, I was reading a comment. Oh, that's awesome, Tish. Your mom loved the rocket socks. She passed away, so you frogged them and made a pair of socks for you. That's awesome. Hi, Ruth Ann from Michigan. Glad to have you on here. So yeah, so this is my frost lines. Like I said, it was a big hit at Scenic Stitches. Sold me some yarn. And I tried it on last night. I am ready to bind off on the bottom. So it seems to me that she has, I don't remember what kind of bind off, but I think I'm just going to do a regular, nothing fancy. I don't know. We'll see. I got time. So we'll see what bind off I end up doing. Maybe I'll do as I'm supposed to. And then, of course, I will be working on the sleeves and the button band and all that good stuff. So good times ahead. I am using on this one, I've showed it, but I'll show you all again. It's amazing to me. I'm using Starry Sock because I don't have any samples in any of my sparkly bases. I don't know why, but I don't. So I'm using Plum Latte on Starry Sock and holding it with fluffy lace. And it's unreal to me how much sparkle you still see, even though I'm holding it with fluffy lace. I don't know how well it's coming out there, but I can tell you what, it's a shiny, beautiful thing. And Morgan pointed out the Plum Latte on Starry Sock, the Stellina has taken on it's a plummy color, but the Stellina itself is almost a silvery blue. It's just bizarre, but it's beautiful. I do. Gorgeous. And then my contrast color, you're supposed to have two. I only have one, and I'm using Burnt Butter on Starry Sock. And it's interesting to me that this is a worsted weight pattern, but Starry Sock obviously is fingering. But all of the Stellina bases I've noticed have a lot of loft, I guess, to them. There's a lot of air spun in. And so even though you can see, the fabric is thinner because it's essentially a fingering weight in there, whereas I've plumped up the main color. So the stripes are a little bit thinner, but it still looks really good, in terms of the fabric that it creates. So I'm very pleased with it. I think it's going to look gorgeous on me. That's always a win. And I think it's going to fit great. I tried it on. I'm like, yep, it's perfect. So I'm just excited. I forget what size I'm doing on this one. Am I doing a 3 or a 4? I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. The 4th size. Doing the 4th one in. Which I think she just numbered these 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, whatever. So anyway, yeah, good stuff right there. Let me tell you, I'm very excited about that. So I will bind off on that and see where I get. All right. Let's see. Shop update. Not a lot of new stuff. There's a sock blank that has already gone out. And then also this originated from a sock blank, but I went ahead and put them into 2 50-gram skeins for you. It was a double knit sock blank. And so anytime I do a sock blank dye experience, I usually have a couple of extra blanks just in case something goes horribly awry. You just never know. So I have to do something with the extra sock blanks when I get home. And so this one I just dyed. I threw a bunch of beautiful speckles on there. You've got teal and some berry in there. So it would look really good with the berry mini, some almost Cavendish speckles. And so it would look good with a Cavendish mini, all sorts of beautiful colors in there. I really like it. So anyway, that's what's new in the shop. That's a one of a kind. I did update Sand Cherry on some bases. So if you've been looking for that, it's in the shop. And also the colorway Slate, that slate blue is in the shop because I restocked a lot of those, especially on the sparkle bases. And then Fluffy Lace. I was telling my Dying to Knit people, I have to say, every show is a little bit different as to what sells, what people ask for. The last couple months, everybody's been asking for, not everybody, it seems like a lot of people ask for, what do you have in sport weight or worsted? So, worsted, especially, I kind of put a few new colorways on it. And at Scenic Stitches, Bo was like, nobody asked for worsted. I was like, yep, that's how it goes. But the one consistent bestseller for me lately, honestly, has been fluffy lace. And I know it's a showstopper. You feel fluffy lace, and it's amazing. It's amazing to knit with. The projects when you're done, I would say the majority of my samples have fluffy lace in them. I've either held fluffy lace double or I've paired it with another base. And so most of my samples have fluffy lace. And I was really pleased at Scenic Stitches. I was getting people to pair, fluffy sock, which is the fingering alpaca base, with fluffy lace, and doing it with similar colors, but not exact. And so that you get to see flecks of different colors showing through. And it was just so fun. So anyway, yeah. So fluffy lace, I'm constantly putting colors on there. Even, some like Field of Flowers is on there. Although someone bought a lot of that. I put sprinkles back on there on fluffy lace, just because it's so fun. There's sprinkles. And so, yeah, so and I think I just did some more Cloud Dancer. It's not in the shop yet, but I did some Cloud Dancer, just because I like to have a lot of variety on fluffy lace. And so even colorways that I don't put on other bases will go on fluffy lace, just to give people more variety, because I love it so much. So anyway, keep an eye on that. Honey, if you're on here, did I miss comments? Because I'm not seeing any new comments. So I don't want to be told that I missed comments after the fact. I probably did. All right, important announcements. Okay, first of all, next week, there won't be a live. Let's see. Yes, it is heaven with anything. Karen is right. And if you can't handle mohair, it is the answer. And that's what I tell everybody, because a lot of people walk into the booth assuming that fluffy lace is mohair. And I always say it's not mohair. Actually, it's Surrey alpaca. And I tell them the reason why I went with it is because any pattern that calls, I have not yet seen a pattern that calls for mohair that you can't substitute the Surrey in for. And it, unlike mohair, it doesn't stick as much when you're trying to take back. And it also, some people who have problems with mohair itching them, the fluffy lace doesn't have that issue, at least not that I have heard from anyone. So, Renee, we're all still here knitting. I love it. That's what I want to hear. I love it so much. All right. So, okay, sorry, back to my important announcements. First of all, next week, since Bo and I are going to Alabama. Bo got us the cutest little Airbnb on a farm, y'all, but there's like no internet. So we're both bringing our books to read. But we're driving up Friday, because it's like an 8-hour drive for us. So we're driving up Friday, which means I won't be doing a live podcast next week. I'm sorry to say. But be on the lookout if you've been interested in the Dying to Knit subscription. The Frivolous Fiber Club will open up next Friday. It's the Dying to Knit subscription. That just means that you're signed up for 3 months. You can cancel at any time, of course, but you'll automatically be dropped after 3 months. And then if you want to sign back up, you can choose a new base, whatever. So anyway, so be on the lookout for that. I'll open that up next week. And don't forget, well, I'll tell y'all in the Dying to Knit group, but if you are in the Dying to Knit group now and you signed up for the Frivolous, I will be canceling your subscription just so that you don't get billed again. But you're not getting knocked out of the Facebook group or anything like that, unless you just choose not to sign up again. But you still have next week. Next week, we're dyeing up our Partridge Pea colorway, by the way. So let's see what else. Also, next month is going to be our summer top make-along. So I am choosing between a couple of summer tops. If you want to participate, you can either make the same top as me, or you can pick another summer top that you have in your queue or on your to-do list that you want to make. You're welcome to join in. That will be our fiber challenge. So I always offer kits for the pattern that I'm going to work on. So be on the lookout for that. I'll get that ready to go as well. And you'll have some time to think about it and decide what you want and what you want to make and all that good stuff. So that's coming up. So let's see. I know I said I'm going to Alabama next week. Did I tell y'all where? Southern Twist Yarns is a fabulous little yarn shop up there owned by Brenda. And so, yeah, she invited us to come. So I'm excited. We'll be there from 10 to 3 is their hours on Saturday. And then 2 weeks after that, 2 very short weeks, we will be in Canton, Texas for the East Texas Fiber Festival. I've heard it's a good one. I met a couple people now, one at Sunkissed, another vendor, and then I met the Rogue Skein, which is a yarn shop in Texas, and she said that they do the East Texas Fiber Festival. They vend there as well, and she said that it's a good one. So vendor wise. So if it's a good one vendor wise, that means it's a good one for attendees as well. So you can find a list of those on my website where I'll be. If you ever have a question, the homepage of my website, you scroll down to the bottom and it says where I'll be, and it has a list of all the ones. I did get just recently, what did it looks like I'll be at Kentucky Sheep and Fiber again this year. So if you're interested in that one, it looks like I'll be there. And I'll also be at Sunkissed Fiber Festival next year. I've already got that one set up as well here in Florida. It's a good one. I think they're planning on a few more vendors. So if you were there and you thought it was a little bit crowded Saturday morning, well, this next year you'll have more places to go because there will be more vendors. So more room for people to spread out and see all the good stuff. All right. Big plans for this weekend? Anyone? What are we doing? Bo is taking me to breakfast tomorrow, or am I taking him? I don't remember. One of us is taking the other to breakfast. And then I think he's got some things to do around the house. I've got some yarn that needs to be dyed up. And then Sunday, I get to visit with my mom and a brother. One of my brothers is coming into town. I've told you all about him. He's an over-the-road truck driver. So he goes all over the United States. And every once in a while, he blesses us with his presence for a short time. And he'll spend the weekend if he has to. They have so many hours that they have to, catch up if they're out on the road. I think it's like 36 hours or something. So he'll be close to us. And so we'll get to see him on Sunday for a little while. So yeah, I plan on getting some knitting done and we'll see where I get. Even though I won't be live next Friday, I will still send out a newsletter. I send it out every Friday. So if you ever want to know what's going on, you just check out, if you sign up. If you go to my website, you're going to be annoyed by a pop-up that says, do you want to sign up for the newsletter? So if you haven't done it already, you might want to, because that's pretty much where I announce all the important things. So I'll have some good stuff for you next week, even though I won't be doing a podcast. I'll miss y'all. So anyway, I hope that you have a great weekend. I think Tish pointed out we changed time this weekend. So don't forget, this is spring. So we go forward an hour. Yuck. Yuck. Ugh. It always messes me up in the spring when we go forward. I don't know. My clock really, I don't notice it as much in the fall, but in the spring, I really get a little messed up. So anyway, so good luck with that. If you're like me, if you have a hard time, good luck with that. And yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks right here. All right. You guys take care of yourselves. You gals take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.